Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about co-branded Facebook ads and how you're going to be able to make money with them. In short, what this is, it's when you can run an ad on Facebook that looks like it's coming from your, or at least the way that I'm going to talk about doing a campaign here that makes money, a lot of money, is running an ad that looks like it's coming from another company that has a list of customers that trust them, of course, to get that ad in front of that company's customers, and then making the ad a co-branded ad so it looks like it's coming from that company. So in other words, the ad looks like it's being put out by the other company to their customers, but features your product or service in it. So you're borrowing the credibility and trust of the other company to sell to their customers. It's almost like a paid endorsement. And if you're wondering why the hell would somebody be willing to do this for me, the answer, very simply is, it's an offer of free advertising. You're going to be able to go to this person and say, hey, how would you like an additional $5,000 a month of advertising for your business? And that to understand how, just get on a call with me for 15 minutes, I'll explain it. Or $1,000 a month or whatever. And then you explain to them, yes, we'll create a co-branded ad opportunity. We'll make an ad that, frames what we offer, but looks like still coming from you. And we'll run it to just your customer list. And even though it doesn't sell your product or service directly, which it could, by the way, you could just pitch them on, giving a commission on every sale if it needs to go there, to where every person that buys from me that clicks on this ad, this co-branded ad that we're going to create, you'll get 10% of the sales as well, which that's perfectly fine if you want to do that. A lot of times I would recommend you do that. But any advertising that you're going to be able to do to your customer list is going to bring your brand to top of mind, so they're more willing to buy from you in the future, assuming it's something they can buy more than once, or if you have other products to sell them on, and so forth. So you don't have to advertise to your own customer list to stay on top of mind with them, which, by the way, that's exactly what you need to be doing if you're in a business that has repeat business. You can't just hope and pray and expect customers to come back to you on their own and make a good return and get a good lifetime value from a customer. Basically, the more you can earn from a customer over time, the more you could spend to get a customer in the first place, and that a lot of times makes or breaks what you can actually do. And if you can actually create a scalable advertising strategy for yourself in the first place to get customers, because obviously if the value you get from a customer is too low, it really limits what you can do to get a customer in the first place. So you should always be pushing stuff in front of them to keep it, be top of mind. And then, of course, if you stay in touch with them when you do have an ask, hey, we have a new model of this product out, you should buy it, they're actually also going to be more receptive to it because they're used to seeing your stuff, and some of the stuff that you're putting out there in front of them is just value building. Did you know that, your energy bill goes up 20% more when you have an inefficient HVAC system or air conditioning unit running that's not serviced? Whatever, which kind of ties into your brand. But anyway, you get the general idea or gist of this. You could spin it as a benefit to them that it's advertising they didn't have to pay for, that's going to be able to bring their brand top of mind with all their customers, that they ultimately want to buy from them more. And you could even throw in there that we've done this with other vendors, and they actually seem to be getting a lot more traction from their customer list once they started doing it as well. If you wanted to really butter them up a little bit more, bottom line, if you can get them to agree to do it, there's a massive amount of return that you can get advertising to somebody else's customers that you're not going to be able to get advertising to people that don't know, like, and trust you already, like they know, like, and trust their customers, to the point where the difference, where we've already done this, we already know the returns 4 to 5 times higher advertising to somebody else's customer with a co-branded ad, like I'm going to talk to you on this video today about, than just marketing the products that we're offering to a total cold audience, which is why you're going to go through all the trouble of setting this deal up and running the co-branded ad. In a lot of cases, it's a great, if you could find a company that's the right fit. Let's say you have a tax where you offer loans on people's tax returns. Going to a tax service like a CPA that does, a small CPA office, going to them and say, hey, I'd like to be able to run a co-branded ad at your customer list, and ultimately getting that deal done, that actually helps their audience. You can spin it as they're building rapport for their audience because you're bringing them something that's actually helpful to them. That's ultimately what you're trying to do, to where even if they're not getting a kickback from it, that their audience actually thought it was helpful, that you put that in front of them. But on top of it, you can offer that kickback, and it's a fantastic deal. They get free advertising, more engagement from their customer list, which makes them more likely to come back, come more often, and they're getting 10%, and they didn't have to do anything other than just say yes and say yes to the opportunity, and you're going to fund it all and do it all. For a lot of, you'd be surprised how many people will actually say yes to this. And they don't have to give you access to their customers in order to do it, which I'm going to explain here if you didn't know it already. So that all said, I'll explain the case study that we had with the luxury mailbox company, and then also how to do this specifically for yourself. So anyway, there's a way to advertise on behalf of companies on Facebook if you already have access to their page. So through your Facebook ads, account, you can actually have another company that once you set up a partnership like I talked about just a minute ago on what you need to set up here for yourself, you can have them share their page with your account, and then you could post on behalf of their account so that the post you post looks like it's coming from them, being advertised by their page and their account, not your account. That's what you want to do with this, just to start off with. Some people, while they know how to kind of do this, post on behalf of another company, what they don't do or think of is they don't think of selling to their customer list, because their customer list that's where the true meat is, the true opportunity, not people who simply follow their Facebook page or have been to their website or heard of them. No, you want their customers. If you advertise to their customers, those people not only are not maybe know, like, and trust them, but we know they know, like, and trust them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bought from them unless they had a shitty experience and left a bad review or whatever. But obviously, it's not going to probably be too many of them, particularly if you've checked out the reviews before you do this. But respectively, the more important fact here is that they spent their cold hard cash before. So we know these are buyers. These are people that are willing to part with money and buy stuff in the home repair space, or buy stuff having to do with tax services or whatever it is that you're doing. So because there's buyers and there's non-buyers. There's really stingy people that don't buy consumer goods. There's people that are. Having access to someone's list of customers that buy definitively those consumer goods that you also sell, that's such a valuable list to be in front of, instead of just marketing to everybody, and you ultimately get a mixture of both. And then on top of it, obviously, you're buying from somebody who got a good experience from a product from a particular vendor, and then that vendor could recommend your product in the ad, which takes this thing up another 5 notches on top of that. So market to customer list, that's where the money is at with this co-branded opportunity, where you make an ad that looks like another company's promoting or recommending your product that'll then run to their customer list. You can also, by the way, get access to another person's audiences in your ad account, because they can share the audience with you. So going back to what I was saying before, when you try to set up this deal with another company to do a co-branded ad on Facebook, you don't actually have to ask them to share their customer list with you. They can upload their customer list to their account if they have not done it already, and then share that list with your ad account again, so that when you create the co-branded ad, You show it to them, they approve it, you run it, it looks like it's coming from them, and then also running to their customer list, and they didn't have to give you access to their customer list in order to do this. Because obviously that would be a sensitive point and something that people would be thinking about when you pitch this to them, because that's a highly valuable list, obviously. So what I recommend doing is when you're having that conversation with who you want to do a co-branded ad with, to tell them right up front. Don't ask or wait for them to bring it up. Hey, I don't actually need your customer list. You can share your list with our account, allows us to get in front of them. And then of course, after the promotion's over, you can actually remove access to that list, so we can't advertise it to it anymore, which they're probably not going to be going to that level with it in their mind already, but you could throw that other part in there if you wanted to. And then that one's actually kind of iffy. You kind of don't want to even put a seed into people's minds that the relationship could go bad, which that kind of does. I'll leave that last part up to you to decide if you're going to communicate that with them or not up front. But anyway, if you approach companies with the offer of free advertising, like I said, which most of them, just saying free advertising in an email that you send or in a cold call will get the meeting that you want. Free advertising. Everybody wants free advertising, particularly if you say, I can give you $3,000 a month of free Facebook advertising. Everybody wants that. That'll at least get you the call, and then you pitch it from there. And so that free advertising, you're giving them free advertising, they're giving you an endorsement that they're going to make to their customer base. And you're going to make a ton of money in the process. And if you want to throw them a bone, you can give them 10% of all the revenue that comes in from that co-branded ad, telling them if it works, we can run it, and then 6 months from now we can run it again, and then 6 months after that we can run it again, and so forth. Because you really can do that. Because ultimately, the people even that see it the first time, they're going to eventually forget. And the fact that they see it again, they're not going to be like, oh, fuck this thing again. No, they're going to be. It's actually going to sink in more and be more powerful, because there's the whole thing with the power of sevens in marketing, where people usually don't take an offer seriously until they've seen it 7 times. Now, naturally, when you do this, you want to make sure they see the ad at least 7 times up front. But then later on, they kind of forgot about it when you run it again. That'll actually, because they saw it the first time, the second time it should run even better. Just to let you know up front. So anyway, with that said, I mentioned that we did this for a luxury mailbox company. When you come up with the co-branded ad, that you know, first of all, you have to obviously find a company that you would like to endorse your product or service if you want to go service. Once you've found that, you have to figure out what to put on the co-branded ad itself to frame their recommendation of your company. Now, there's 2 main ways that I've come up with to do this before, and I'm sure you can figure out and get creative and figure out something else that you can do. But the 2 main ways that I know of and think of, or can think of, is to say, look at this new product. So basically you're introducing them to a new product that they may have not seen before, and that you think is a good fit for somebody that you know bought your product or bought their products already. So in other words, even at your own company, you got your customer list. What's a product that you could introduce to your customers that you know they'd be appreciative that you helped them discover? And then frame that in the ad. Look what, we found this product, thought it was really good to share with our audience. Something like that. Or you can do, we're soon to be offering X. X being the name of the product. So we're soon going to be offering this luxury mailbox. You could say that instead of, look at this luxury mailbox, it's really cool. Thought it would be cool sharing it with you. So, and that doesn't have to be a fake thing, because if you have them push, you create a co-branded ad that said, we're soon to be offering this luxury mailbox at our company, they can actually, through the free advertising that you're giving them, see what the response is. How many comments are getting left on the ad? How many people are sharing the ad organically? And if it's a lot, then obviously you could say, hey, what's actually make you a distributor or a dealer or retailer or whatever. You could go that direction with it. Or obviously you could keep it informal and you just keep running the ads at their audience, and then you ship it to them, you deliver it to them, and you just keep giving them a 10% kickback. But what we did in the luxury mailbox space itself, for the case study that I'm going to share with you here, so we reached out to, it's a luxury mailbox in this particular market, which is technically a third way to kind of do the co-branded ad if you want to put it into its own category. The way that we did this was we knew that the mailbox needs to be installed. So we reached out to other home service contractors out there, like window and door companies, luxury like fountain installers, stuff like that. And with that said, people that are doing exterior modifications to houses that probably work with some high income people, given the mailbox, it's a luxury mailbox, it's a little bit more expensive. So that's where we found the most synergies between somebody else's audience and our audience that we're trying to go for. And that's what you're trying to find that closest fit there. But what we did is we said, hey, we're going to be, we're offering this luxury mailbox now and are a authorized installer of this box. So, and if you're interested in this, let us know. And then of course the ad links back to our luxury mailbox website. We're not taking them to that person's website. We're not taking it to that window and door company's site. We're taking them back to the manufacturer's website of that product, the luxury mailbox product. So why? Because you're not trying to screw that person over that is, on the other side of the co-branded opportunity. It's just, if you're going to be interested in that mailbox, you want to go see the details about that mailbox. You don't want to go to the window and door company's site. That you could have a landing page on that site, but it would be much better to just go check out the full website so I could see what this mailbox is about. And then of course, if they want to get it installed, they could comment, yeah, I'm interested or whatever. And then that mailbox or that window and door company could then reach out to them, say, okay, sure, just, what's your, go through Facebook Instant Messenger or whatever, and then just line up a sales meeting with them so that, or at least in the way that we did it, line up a sales meeting with them to explain how they're going to be able to install this luxury mailbox in their house, and then all of that. So that's how we specifically frame this in terms of what's the reason that they would be sharing this to their customer list, because they're an authorized installer of the product now, not a dealer or distributor, but an authorized installer. We don't offer the mailboxes, but we install them. And if you're interested in getting one installed, like we have for other people in the area, which is a nice ad to add to your ad, by the way, it'll get it to pull a little bit more, reach out to us and we'll help you figure out if it's when and how and where we would be able to get something like this installed for you. And give you a free consultation on it in general. So the idea with sales and marketing, by the way, is to always understand if it's an expensive product or service you're marketing, it's got a long decision-making time frame where people need to normally decide. You don't try to sell them in one step or in one approach. You say, just talk to us, we'll give you some free information on this. And then from there, you could see how to take them to the next step. Because if you do too much too quick, your usefulness of the retention you got initially will be less. And so you got to create a funnel, in other words. But anyway, with that, that's what we did for that. And then so what we did is we created 4 different co-branding opportunities, because when you do it, you should basically do it with several companies, because you can find out which ones work, which ones don't. And then from there, we actually narrowed it down. We didn't just target their customers. We targeted their customers that are in the top 10% of income demographic. So with the key thing being here is you can find out what makes your customers unique and then filter their customer list down to be just the ones that also match the mandatory requirements that you have to have for somebody to normally buy your product. So in our case, it had to be somebody in the top 10% of income demographic. So instead of starting with a customer list of 5,000 people, you start with a customer list of 2,000, but it's people that are way more statistically likely to be interested in that product and can afford it and buy it and so forth. So that's what we did. And the typical ROI we were getting on Facebook ads targeting cold audiences in the same market, but without the co-branded opportunity already, because we already tried it, we were doing it for a while, was around 500% ROAS, or 500% ROI on our Facebook ads. when we did this co-branding opportunity, we got, in the last 90 days alone, we were able to get 2,412% ROI/ROAS on that campaign. Specifically, instead of marketing to everybody in that geographic market, the people that were on the customer list, and mentioning that, had a co-branded ad that mentions that they're an installer and they can reach out to them if they have questions or would like some more information or advice about getting this product installed in your house. So, of course, some people came to our website and asked questions from that ad. A lot of people reached out to the co-branded, the person that was doing the co-branding thing with us, the home service contractor, the fountain installer, and so forth. So anyway, so we were talking about like 4.5 times, almost 5 times more profitable marketing to our other home service contractors customer list than it was marketing to our own users in the top 10% of income demographic in that same geographic territory that these home service companies that we approached were in. So that shows you right there the power of the whole thing. So you have to figure out which people have the customers that will likely buy from you, and then with that, approach them, find out an interesting way to make it look organic, that they're recommending your product or service, and go about doing this. Like I said, it could be a service too. This works great for products, but it could be a service too that you do this. If, like I said, with the tax service, you could do that really easy. If you were offering sales training, just go find who else buys sales training. People that buy sales training, what else do they buy? Okay, let's approach them for the co-branding opportunity. People that buy sales training usually buy sales training courses. Find a sales training course seller. Obviously, it's kind of a, would leech customers away from that person potentially, so to say. But if they don't have a high-end offer, that's not what they're going to be thinking about. They're going to be thinking, there's a lot of people I could get in addition from, or more value I can get out of my customer list if I'm starting to pitch this full sales training service in addition to my courses, which I don't have to do the work and I could get a 10% kickback. Of course they're going to want to do that. So you just have to find where the synergies lie, approach them. This method will work fantastic for you. It's a lot more work. Obviously customer list is only going to take you so far. You can only market so much to the customer list, and then you have to set up another deal and another deal. But each deal that you do will have a much, much higher ROI, and you could get somebody set up to just full-time reach out to people, and the cost that you have to pay the person to set those deals up should already be made up and then some for the massive 4, 5x, 6x, 10x increase in ROI that you're going to get in, from marketing to their customers than marketing to people that don't know anything about you yet and aren't on somebody else's customer list that you align with and could do a co-branding opportunity with. So ultimately, as a side here, if you didn't get the same results we got, like 2,400% ROI plus, you could actually filter your purchasers by how recent their purchase is. This is actually very similar to how they used to do direct mail advertising, and you get access to someone else's customer list and then you mail them. People did this with email as well. And what they have is these hot lists where you could buy, still to this day, access to other people's customer lists, their email addresses, their mailing addresses, their phone numbers, and so forth. Nextmark mailing lists is one company that does it. But what people have known for years that do this and use these lists like this is the more recently they've purchased, the more they're likely to purchase from you when you market to them your product or service itself, because they're hot and bothered or hot to trot to buy. When people are in buying mode, they bought something recently, they're more likely to buy something again than if they didn't buy something for the last 2 weeks. They get into purchase modes, if you will. So if you do what I'm saying here, you don't like the return or want to get an even higher return, to find out how to get a customer list, you'll ask them to upload another, or just upload let's just say upload another customer list to Facebook that they'll then share with you, but only do the people that have purchased in the last 3 months or last 6 months versus ever purchased from you ever. And that will almost always get a better return, 2-3 times better return than the general person that bought from you 3 years, because the bond and awareness and likeness, how well that customer likes that person and how highly they think of them, that all fades away the longer time from the purchase as it's been. So you may have to just narrow down the customer list to the people that have done business with them recently versus just at any time. Obviously, again, that cuts down on the potential. I'd much rather have, $10,000 worth of sales at 1,000% ROI than, $3,000 worth of sales at a 1,600% ROI. There's more profit there. So you have to do the math and see if it's worth it for you to try to, increase your ROI by reducing volume. And obviously each opportunity takes time to set up. So then there's that cost of, entering it each time. And if you get super picky about what customers you want to go after, then it may not be worth it for you, even though you'd get a much higher ROI going after recent customers, because you're now only going to get a customer list that's 10% the size of what you could otherwise getting access to all their customers. So anyway, that's just another quick thing to mention, a tip to make your results a little bit better. But that's pretty much it in terms of co-branding. This is co-branding as people normally think of it on steroids, going just after the customers. And that's it. And going after them, instead of just saying, we're together today or whatever, like a lot of these marketers try to do. No, this is a really cool product. I recommend it to anybody that has done business with us in the past. You get a direct recommendation, and you could keep running the ad at the customer list until you extracted every dollar of value from that. That's an extremely effective way in today's environment to make money on Facebook ads. And if you can't make money on Facebook any other way, this will probably be the one thing that gets it to work for you. Bottom line, and I'll end it with that. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Like I said, if you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and or just consider subscribing to this channel, as I have a lot of other content on this channel about making money with online advertising. Facebook ads, but also Google ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, everything in terms of if it has to do with online advertising and it makes money, I share the methods on how to make money on these platforms on this channel. And I give you information that I find on how to make money coming from what I do for our clients. We have a few dozen clients at any given time where I'm constantly testing and coming up with strategies that work to guarantee results on their campaigns and can guarantee increases in sales. So you're literally getting it straight from the source, and you got millions of dollars of advertising testing working for you and being delivered to you through this channel. So and therefore the best information you're basically going to find on YouTube, so you should darn well subscribe. If you like the channel, you'll like my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. It's got similar information there. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a final note, I offer a guaranteed PPC management service here at our firm, where we manage your campaigns on Google or Facebook or what have you. And like I was talking about before, and guaranteed means we literally can guarantee you sales on your campaign. So if you're making, $5,000 a month now on a $1,000 ad budget, we can take that $1,000, make $10,000 a month, and not charge until we do. So we do this as a part of a trial to get in with our company and show that we can provide enough profit up front to even cover the cost of what we charge for our services. Our services aren't cheap by any means, but we provide sales up front. So the amount that we're charging, you're already making that back in just the initial results we can get for you. Just using the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, that always works. So we don't work with just anybody. So you have to reach out to me, and I'll look at your stuff though and evaluate it. And if I can get you some results, I'll tell you how much results I can get and what I can specifically guarantee you in terms of those results. Also, I'm looking for clients who want to partner up in that I don't charge any fees at our agency to work with the client, as long as they're willing to give us a percentage of their increase in sales in the future. We're doing this more and more all the time, and this is exclusively the business model we're trying to move forward on exclusively, as we know our stuff works and we're going to be able to make the most money with our clients that way. So if you are looking for a purely commission-based pay-per-click management strategist and company that can help you execute all the stuff that you need, landing pages and so forth that go along with it, reach out to my firm. I'll look at your stuff. Again, I don't work with anybody or everybody, but I'll at least see if you have a good opportunity there and let you know if I can do that for you as well. But basically, any product or service that looks amazing, I want to be able to be in on that with you, with and for your company. So that said though, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you there. See you later.